Okay, I have to actually get ready to do my Christmas shopping soon, but there's something I kind of want to rant about first, and it has to do with, all the Curt Mega stuff that happened last night with TV Guide, as well as just the power of words in general. Um, my family has subscribed to TV Guide for as long as I can remember, and I've read TV Guide for as long as I can remember, and I've never had an issue. Like, I know they have their cheers and jeers, and I know that sometimes they don't like stuff and they review it saying that it's not that good, and I get that you didn't like the performance of Uptown Girl. I get it. I get, like, whatever, to each their own. Not everyone likes everything that Glee does, and not everyone likes Glee in general, but it's one thing to just say we didn't like the performance, and it's a completely different thing to say that to insult Kurt and the other Warblers or any of that stuff, because honestly, Curt Mega is one of the kindest, most inspirational, most talented people that I've ever come to hear of, to know, not know personally, obviously, but like know of, and I can honestly say that he's doesn't deserve anything that was said about him, and he doesn't deserve to have people talk about him. None of them do. Not a single one of the Warblers, not a single one of the Glee cast. They are really just a very amazing cast, and I think Ryan Murphy and the rest and Ian and all of them, I think they really lucked out with who they cast, because they really have this group of amazing, like, beautiful on the inside and out people, and to know that there are people who are insulting them and telling them that they aren't as talented as they are, which is total bullshit, and it's kind of like, what the fuck kind of thing. And I'm sorry for using the F word, because I try not to swear too much on my rants, but it's what the fuck, honestly. And I can't, like, as a writer and as a TV Guide subscriber and reader, I'm personally outraged and offended by the way that they handled this journalism. It's not journalism. It's not professional to attack a person like that. And he read it and he was upset about it, and his friends read it and they were upset about it, his fans read it and they were upset about it, and all it makes me think is, like, it's just like this weird idea of, like, bullying, like just bullying this nice person who's done no wrong and has done nothing to you, and you're just telling them that they aren't as good as they are, and that they make weird faces and they're over animated faces, which makes me laugh hysterically, because have you seen Darren Criss's face? Like, honestly, have you ever seen his face? All he does is make, like, Darren Criss is the king of derps. He really is, and he's more so when he's Blaine and doing the Warbler thing than ever, because he's just goofing around and being this character. And, like, I went on Tumblr and I made a rant about it, and I went on Twitter and I ranted about it, and I went on Facebook and I ranted about it, and now I'm on YouTube. I'm trying to cover all social media, because I think people don't understand how much words can affect another person. I don't think they understand how much what you say can affect another person. Something as simple as, that's so gay, or oh my god, that's retarded, or oh my god, you're so stupid, like, or like, I don't know, things like that. And people don't understand how much those things really cold. And people think like, oh, I was just kidding, like, I don't mean like that's so gay, like I'm making fun of gay people. I mean like it's lame. And I'm like, no, because then you're saying being gay is lame, and that's not okay. If you're saying that's so gay, it better be because you're talking about gay porn or something and men fucking men in the ass. That's okay to say that's so gay because, hey, it's gay. But don't be like, oh, this video game is lame, it's so gay. That's the dumbest thing I've ever, like, that's just the worst thing to say to someone, because you don't know who's gay, you don't know who's going to be offended by it, you don't know. And then things like saying things are retarded, the meaning of retarded means slowed down. That's the Latin translation of it, of retard is slow, and retardere, which means obviously too slow, and like the act of slowing. And all I can think about it is, like, if you're talking about music, yeah, you can retard the music because it means you slow the music down. If you're talking about a person who may or may not have some form of mental development disorder, don't call them retarded. Just don't. That's just mean and cruel and unnecessary. And it's also the same thing when people like say things are like if you say to a skinny person who's just eating a lot that they're fat ass, how do you know that they don't have some form of body issue? You don't know. Same thing with a larger person. You don't want to make a comment about their size because you don't know how it's going to affect them. You don't know who's going home at night making themselves throw up. You don't know who's going home at night and cutting their wrists. You don't know who's going home at night and praying to die. You don't know how much what you say to that person is going to affect them when they leave that conversation. You don't know how much they're taking in. People are sponges. People get hurt from words. Words are I've said it many times, words are man's greatest shield and greatest weapon. They're the best way to defend yourself, and they're the best way to offend others. They're the best way to hurt, and they're the best way to help. Use words correctly. Use them wisely. Don't use them against other people. Don't use them in order to hurt other people. Don't do it. Just be nice. Just be nice to people. It's really not that hard to be nice to people. It's better to, if you don't like someone or you don't like something, it's better to be polite about it or don't acknowledge it than it is to go out of your way to insult it, whether verbally or literally, like literary or whatever. Don't do it. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen. If you don't like Uptown Girl, you don't have to listen to Uptown Girl. If you don't like an actor or a musician, you don't have to watch what they do. You don't have to listen to what they do. TiVo. That's the great thing about DVR and TiVo and online television is you can fast forward through parts you don't like. It's really awesome. Trust me, it's the fantastic part of technology is you don't have to watch an entire TV show. You don't like the Warblers or you don't like certain Warblers, fast forward through it. It's no big deal. It's not that difficult. And honestly, if you have an issue with certain people, don't do it on such a huge, it's one thing to do it on a blog. It really is. Blogs are like, when people go on blogs, it's like their own personal like diary and that you're making public. And yeah, you shouldn't make fun of people or insult people on them either, but you definitely shouldn't do it in such a national magazine, something so out there that anyone can read, everyone can read, everyone does read, including the people that you're talking about. And it's just, it pissed me off. It honestly pissed me off to a point where I can't help but rant and rave and be angry because it's the dumbest reason not to like a person is to say something along the lines of because they have an over-animated face or because they, like the actual article said, it's a picture of them performing Uptown Girl during the first time. It says, the caption says, "Still puzzled? So are we. Nothing against Uptown Girl, but what purpose did it serve?" And it was if it was to introduce Blaine's admirer Sebastian, why not let him take the lead instead of some random warbler whose over-animated face made us wonder how he was cast in the first place? And why film it in such a goofy way with boys serenading some random lady? Just why? Maybe it was to show Blaine he might made the right decision in leaving. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't. What? When I first read that, like, my friend Rayleigh sent it to me, and I first read it, my jaw had dropped so far, and I was in shock. I was in a state of shock. And then I started reading, like, all the comments on Tumblr and everything right afterwards, and like, people going like, "That's Curt Mega," and Eddie Martin and Riker Lynch and John Hall, and like all these amazing guys. And I know I'm leaving out a ton of them, but I'm not gonna obviously list off all of them. But I have to mention Titus Macon and Dominic Barnes because I love Dom. Dom's awesome. But it's just, what the fuck, honestly. I hate people so much, and someone just rang my doorbell, but I'm ignoring it because this is more important. Basically, the gist of what I'm trying to say is, be nice to people. Don't be an asshole. Nobody likes an asshole. Thank you, Darren Criss, for that line. Nobody likes an asshole. TV Guide's an asshole, so I don't like them anymore, and I'm really glad my subscription just ended because I'm not renewing it. And I wish I could just hug Curt and tell him that everything's awesome and he shouldn't let what those idiots are saying get to him, because he's fantastic and extremely talented. And I'm actually like tearing up about this, and it's just, as someone who was cyberbullied and bullied terribly growing up, it just really pisses me off when people use such a forum as that, as a magazine or a newspaper or even online or any of that stuff, and people use those kind of forums to attack someone or insult them or hurt them or anything like that. It really pisses me off, and it really breaks my heart. And this whole ordeal with, I mean, Curt read that and he was really upset. Like, he tweeted about it, and I just, like, it's one thing if he read it and he's like, "Oh, well, that sucks," but, you know, it's still, like, he could be like, "Oh, well, that sucks," but, like, he tweeted about, like, saying, like, oh, he's like, "Wow, words can hurt," like, they can. Words hurt. Words hurt. Don't use them for good, not evil. Use them wisely. Use them justly. And be nice to people. And love people. And don't, I don't know, just tweet Curt. Tell him you love him and he's awesome. If you have him, like, on Facebook or whatever, write on his wall, tell him that you love him and he's awesome. If you follow him here on YouTube, tell him that he's awesome on his videos. On Tumblr, same thing. Just show the world that they're good people and people who use words for good. And yeah, that's kind of it for my rant. I've literally just ranted for 15 minutes straight, but yeah, that's basically it. And I'll probably end up doing another one of these rants after I do some holiday shopping, because there's only one mall in my entire area that I live in. So it's like 14 towns for one mall. But thanks for listening to this rant if you actually did listen to all of it. And be nice, I guess.